Hey there and welcome back to the channel. I know you clicked on this video because you were curious about one of the darkest chapters in military history, chemical weapons in World War I, and I get it. You've probably seen those haunting images of soldiers in gas masks, maybe watched some Hollywood depictions. But let me tell you something. The reality was far worse than anything you've seen on screen. Now I want you to imagine for a moment that you're a young soldier in 1915, sitting in a trench somewhere in Belgium. You've been dealing with machine gun fire, artillery shells, the constant threat of snipers. You think you've seen the worst of what war can offer? Then suddenly, you see something that makes your blood run cold. A yellowish-green cloud slowly drifting across no man's land, toward your position. That's chlorine gas, and you're about to experience a new kind of hell that humanity had never unleashed before. You might be wondering, how did we even get to this point? How did civilized nations decide to weaponize chemistry itself? Well, let me take you back to the beginning of this nightmare. When World War I started in 1914, military leaders on both sides expected it to be over by Christmas. They were thinking in terms of traditional warfare, cavalry charges, rifle volleys, maybe some artillery. Nobody was prepared for the industrial-scale slaughter that was about to unfold. But here's the thing that might surprise you. Chemical weapons were actually invented for World War I. The first recorded use of toxic gases in warfare goes back to ancient times. The thing is, by 1914, we had the industrial capacity and scientific knowledge to produce these weapons on a massive scale. And when the war bogged down into trench warfare with millions of men facing each other across a few hundred yards of cratered earth, military commanders became desperate for anything that could break the stalemate. Now, you've probably heard that Germany was the first to use chemical weapons in WWI, and that's technically true for large-scale deployment. But let me give you the full picture here. Both sides had been experimenting with tear gas and irritants since late 1914. The French actually used tear gas grenades first, and the Germans responded with their own irritant chemicals. But these early attempts were more about causing temporary discomfort than mass casualties. The real game changer came on April 22, 1915. At the Second Battle of Ypres, I want you to picture this scene, because it's important you understand just how unprecedented this moment was. German forces had installed over 5,700 cylinders containing 168 tons of chlorine gas along a 4-mile front. At 5 p.m., they opened the valves and let the wind carry this green death cloud toward the Allied lines. The French and Canadian troops in the path of this attack had no idea what they were looking at. Remember, this had never happened before in modern warfare. Some soldiers actually thought it was a smokescreen and weren't immediately alarmed. Within minutes, men were choking, gasping for air, their lungs burning as if they were on fire from the inside. The chlorine gas reacted with the moisture in their respiratory systems, creating hydrochloric acid. Yes, you heard that right. Their own lungs were being dissolved by acid. Here's something that really gets to me about this first major gas attack. The Germans themselves were unfully prepared for how effective it would be. They watched as thousands of Allied soldiers fled in panic, leaving a gap in the line several miles wide. But they hadn't positioned enough troops to exploit this breakthrough, because they were unsure the gas would work. It was both a tactical success and a strategic failure that would haunt both sides for years to come.